Welcome to the studio. I'm Pernille, and on this channel I make videos about my art and my life as an artist, and as an urban sketcher and journaler and keeper of illustrated journals. And today I want to talk about something that's very relevant to my life right now. I've been thinking about it as I've been cleaning up the studio today. And that is how you go about it when you're scared or afraid of painting. Because that's has dawned on me during the last couple of months that I'm actually scared of painting in acrylics. I used to paint in acrylics a lot, but that's 20 years ago. And I've been procrastinating. I haven't picked up the brushes and done anything, even though that's what I want to do, because I'm scared. So I've jotted down, taken some notes about what you can do when you're afraid of starting something creative, maybe diving into a new medium or a new project. What can you do and what am I gonna do to conquer the fear and actually start painting? And the first thing is to acknowledge the fear. I'm not going to try to suppress it. Just recognize the feeling, because it's a natural feeling. It's okay to be scared. So my first step is to actually I've come to terms with I'm afraid of painting, and the next step is to identify why. Why am I scared of painting in acrylics? And I've been thinking about it, and in my case, it's a bit of a fear of failure and a fear because I haven't painted it so many years that I've somehow lost the ability, that I can't paint the way that I used to 20 years ago. And so it kind of helped to acknowledge that I'm afraid that I can't paint the way I want to, that I'm too rusty, that I've forgotten somehow. And that's a major part of why I'm scared. And it's okay, because that's the next thing I've been thinking about. It's a natural feeling to feel scared when you're faced with a new challenge or you have to learn something new. It's a natural feeling, but it doesn't mean that I'm incapable. It doesn't mean that I can't paint. I just have to start smaller. And that leads me into the next step. Break down the task into smaller bits, into smaller bites. And I'm thinking about, I'm not going to start out by dragging out old canvases and start a new big project. I have to break it down and make it feel more manageable. So I'm going to start small. And in my case, I think I'm just going to start to work in some sort of art journal or sketchbook. So start small. And then gradually work my way up into more challenging work. So that's my advice to others. Start small. And celebrate progress. I'm the kind of person that kind of beats myself up if I, in my own eyes, fail. But I'm not very good at celebrating progress. And so celebrate the victories, because that builds momentum and that builds confidence. And I'm also going to challenge my negative thoughts, because are they based on fear or facts? And in my case, it's based on fear. So when the negative emotions or thoughts pop up, it's based on fear, not facts. And I'm just going to focus on the present and just try to be mindful as I paint and enjoy the process, and not focus on the end result, not focus on some sort of vision about what I want in the end. I'm just going to focus on the present moment and play. And I thought about maybe it could also be nice to, if you can find some sort of buddy or a friend, a creative friend, and have some play dates. Maybe another person wants to explore that medium as well, and maybe you can do it together. In my case, at the present moment, the people that I know that creates are mostly into watercolors. So I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open, and maybe along the way I will pop into someone who might want to have some play dates to just splash some paint around. And the final step that I've thought about is just do it. I'm just going to do it. Because I've been procrastinating for years. So now I'm just going to do it. And even if I'm scared, I'm just going to start small and acknowledge that I'm scared. But I'm just going to do it. And that's what we are going to start today. I'm going to pick out a book to work in and maybe start splashing some paint around. Because when you step out of your comfort zone, it can lead to new opportunities and new experiences. And it always, growth can feel scary and painful. It can feel scary to grow because you leave your comfort zone. But it's necessary if you want to develop yourself, if you want to grow, to leave your comfort zone. So that's what I'm doing today. And I'm just gonna embrace the process and tell myself it's okay if I make mistakes. I can learn from the mistakes and develop as an artist, and it's not the end of the world. So that's also my advice to you. And so now I'm going to flip you around and I'm going to show you some of the books that I've thought about using as a sketchbook or a workbook for acrylics. So let's discuss my selection of books that I've dragged out. I have these two. They are homemade books, and then I have these. And I thought about, because I've mentioned it in other videos, I want to complete some of the journals and books that I started and abandoned. And these are all some of those. This is a kind of art journal I made ages ago. The problem is I don't really like a lot of the work that I have in here. So I abandoned it. But I could just cover up all this and work in this one. The only downside to this one is it's a bit small. If I want to paint acrylics, I want to have more room to paint. So that's the downside, but I like that it's a selection of all sorts of weird papers that I can play around with, so I don't have to fear the blank page, because I already have something on the page. So that's that one. And this is just an old garden book that I made into junk journal. Then I have this one, also a homemade book. This one, as you can see, I used it in 2022 as sort of an art journal. I did paint a bit and then I abandoned it completely. And I'm not too crazy about this one either. I like this page, but maybe keeping a journal like this is not for me. I think I just want to play around with paints and not use it as a journal. So this is a definite possibility, because the pages are bigger and it's really good quality sturdy paper, this cream colored tan paper. So this is a definite possibility. Only problem is I have already started this and I really don't like these pages, but I could cover them up. So that's a possibility. And then I have these two sketchbooks. These are both by Art Creations. I really like these. They're fairly cheap. This one has the same. I already started using it as a sketchbook. As you can see. The problem is with this one, it's very small in size, even smaller than this one. So I think we can rule this one out. And then we have this one. I love the color. I love this one, and I have never used it. As far as no, I've never completed anything. I just abandoned the thing. So I like the size of this one. I really like the color. And I think I might go with this one. As you can see, the only thing I did was I put some watercolor on as a background, and then I made a very faint sketch of some birds. Can you even tell? I'm not sure you can tell. So I think I might want to start with this one, and just maybe cover this entire. Maybe just paint on top of this one, and then get started. Just start splashing paint around. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And what do I want to paint? I don't know. I feel like painting lemons. So let's paint lemons. So did it feel scary? Yes. Yes, it did. But it also felt nice to start. And it also felt a bit vulnerable, painting for the first time in many years on camera. But it didn't kill me. And I'm actually satisfied with the result. It's not a masterpiece, but it wasn't meant to be. This was just meant to get started, to just jump into the task ahead, even though it feels scary. And even though I can feel it in my body, I can feel that my stomach hurts and I feel a bit anxious. It also felt nice to just start. And I hope that if you have something that you have been wanting to do but been a bit afraid to start doing, then maybe this will inspire you and give you some ideas how to go about it, because I had in my mind these ideas that I wanted to make these big paintings, but it felt so daunting. It felt so scary because I hadn't painted in 20 years. But this feels more manageable. And I haven't set any goals to paint any big paintings. I just want to play around, even though this isn't a masterpiece. When it comes to watercolors, I feel quite confident, but I have practiced for years and I have found out how I like to draw and express myself and render things in watercolor. I feel more confident there. When it comes to acrylics, I feel intimidated. It feels scary. But at least now I have started. So I hope that it inspires you too. And if you like this video and if you've seen it until the end, please consider giving it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing. And I will see you next Sunday.